A Lesson in Effective Communication, presented by me, Chester Saltisic. Today we're going to talk about the apple orchard. It's a lesson in having an effective communication strategy. First, let's meet Sam. Sam is a third-generation apple farmer. Sam owns a 300-acre apple orchard outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. One thing Sam understands well is the apple business. And Sam's family has done well in the apple business for more than the last 150 years. Now let's meet the Clarkson family. Tom and Julie Clarkson inadvertently met each other as teenagers while visiting the apple orchard years ago with their family, way back when. Tom and Julie exchanged pager numbers on that brisk fall day. Pages led to dates, dates led to an engagement led to marriage, and marriage yielded their lovely children, Thomas Jr. and Isabel. Every year it's important to the Clarkson family to drive out from the city and pick some apples in the fall as a family. Sam's business model is simple. Sam's apple orchard is 200 acres of pristinely manicured apple trees of various types. Sam has contracts with many grocers in and around Indiana. Grocers order their apples 6 months in advance of picking season. Each picking season, Sam begins his harvest from the rear of the orchard and harvests enough apples to satisfy his grocery orders. After the grocery orders are filled, Sam opens up the front of his orchard for 2 weeks to the public. Sam offers the following deal to the public. Pick as many apples as you can physically carry for $10 per adult and $5 per child under 12. Last year, the Clarkson family made their annual family visit. On one of the days that Sam had his orchard open to the public, the Clarkson family made their annual apple picking trip. The Clarksons spend the day tasting a variety of apple desserts and ciders that Sam's daughter sells out of a small gift shop. After having some tasty snacks and delicious drinks, the Clarksons ventured out into the orchard and loaded up on apples. This year, the Clarksons met Sam. After a day of loading up on apples, the Clarkson family pays their $30 apple picking fee to one of the orchard staff members and heads to their car. While on the way to their car, Sam, who is watching from a distance, sees the Clarkson family loading their car. The Clarksons are loading 5 big paper grocery bags and 2 smaller child-sized canvas bags full of apples. Sam also notices the Clarksons placing a small stepladder into their truck. Sam approaches the Clarkson family in the parking lot. Sam politely approaches the Clarkson family and introduces himself as the owner of the orchard. Sam, with a big smile on his face, explained to the Clarkson family that his great-great-grandparents started the orchard way back in the 1880s, and he prides himself on being a small family-owned company that focuses on growing high-quality, organic, pesticide-free apples, and he is thrilled to see, after so many years, families continue to come together to pick apples. Sam asks the family one question. About how many apples do you folks think you picked? The first person to respond was little Isabel. Little Isabel was the first to answer Sam. I filled up this whole bag, all the way to the top. Dad said as long as I can carry it, I can have it. I got it all the way up and I carried it all by myself. Mom said I'm super strong this year. We're going to make apple pie tomorrow and I can bring some to school. Sam, grinning from ear to ear, gave little Izzy a pat on the head and said, I'm so happy you are taking so many apples home to enjoy. Tom was the next to respond. Tom looked at Izzy with a little bit of concern, and Tom said, My wife and I have been coming to this farm since we were kids. We are really good customers for you and your family. We also try to go to grocery stores you service. That's how loyal we are. I don't recall ever seeing a sign about not being allowed to bring bags. It makes it easier for the kids too. Without a bag, they would only be able to carry 4 or 5 apples. If you think we are taking too many apples, you should change your policy to a specific number or weight. Julie chimed in next. Julie, a stickler for good customer service, decided to chime in. Yes, we are very loyal to your farm, and we really value these family experiences. I didn't realize we were breaking any rules by bringing bags and a stepladder. The kids are small and need help reaching things, so it's really just for them. We didn't mean to overpick, but you really should change your policy if you don't want people taking too many apples. Little Thomas was standing there quietly, but was literally bursting at the seams to say something. Thomas raised his hand and said, Mr. Farmer, I know how many apples we picked. I counted them as we put them in the bags. We got 103 apples. We would have gotten more, but Izzy dropped some. She's not as strong as I am. Dad interjected, Thomas, stop that right now. Thomas instantly lost his excitement and became quiet. Farmer Sam, seeing this, said, Young man, it sounds like you got quite a good value out of this trip. You spend time with your family doing what I love to do every day. I hope you have the best apple pie ever, and I'll be watching for you next year. I really hope you all keep coming back. Thomas regained his smile. Sam walked away, and Mom and Dad complained the whole way home about Sam interrogating them about how many apples they were able to pick, even though they were following the rules. They even talked about finding a new farm to go apple picking at next year. Why do we suppose Sam was asking the family how many apples they picked? Here are some options. Sam was concerned that he left open some loopholes about bags and step stools he needed to close before next year. Or maybe Sam was thinking about blaming the Clarkson family for taking advantage of his loose rules. Another consideration was Sam was considering raising his prices for next year. Maybe Sam was even considering stopping his 2 weeks of being open to the public so he could focus on expanding his grocery store presence and market. The next picking season came quick. 1 year had elapsed. The Clarkson family children are excited to go apple picking once again. But Mom and Dad are worried about upsetting the farmer this year, so they leave their bags and step at home. They prepared their children for the experience and informed them there would be many less apples this year because old man Sam is worried more about money than families. The Clarkson family arrived at the farm and they were just hoping to make the best of it. They immediately noticed some changes at the Welcome Center when they got there. Sam's Family Orchard was now offering free heavy-duty paper bags in adult and child sizes. 2 bags free to each customer. Each additional bag was 25 cents, and there were no limits. Orchard staff were on hand to loan stepladders to children and even help them reach the tops of trees with free tree lift bucket rides scattered throughout the orchard. It was still only $10 for adults and $5 for children. The Clarkson parents were in shock. Then they got to see Sam again. Sam had been hanging around the Welcome Center all week, hoping to once again see the Clarksons. When he did, his eyes lit up and he went over to them. He asked, The Clarkson family, right? How do you like what we did with the place this year? The Clarksons were surprised to see Sam and said, We are happy to see you, but we're confused. Why all the changes? Sam explained to the Clarkson family, You see, my neighbor is selling his 100 acres of land, and I was thinking about buying it to expand our market share with grocers in and around Indiana. The problem I have is that we never sell all of our apples to grocery stores, but we try to come close. So I rely on good folks like you to pick the excess and clear the trees for next growing season. I don't make money on folks coming in to pick apples. We do it to save money and keep the orchard clean of rotting fruit. Without the support of people like you, I would be spending a ton more money on maintenance. I asked you how many apples you picked so I could make sure we could handle adding the extra acreage. Thanks to your great idea of bringing bags and ladders, I decided to just give away bags and help with some ladders we have around here. This way, I know we get picked clean every season. Thank you so much for your help. So, what lessons did we learn from observing this communication? 1. Let's not make any assumptions. 2. Don't overthink questions. Take them at face value. 3. Avoid becoming defensive. 4. Stick to the facts. Don't overshare information. And finally, always seek first to understand.